All right, time to talk some Flames football here as we put a lid on the 2017 season. And for more on that, we catch up now with the head coach of the Flames, Turner Gill. All right, Coach, first of all, before we get into that, Thanksgiving went well for you, I understand. Got to spend some time with the family?
Yeah, it was good to be with got a chance to see my dad and two daughters there in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And it's all about family, and Thanksgiving is always something you're thankful for. And thankful for my family, and got a chance to spend some quality and quantity time with my daughters, and hadn't seen them in a while there as far as being in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Yeah, good to do that this year because next year, Thanksgiving week, it'll be game week, right?
Absolutely. So that's a good thing. Obviously been involved with all that, been at the FBS level, and Thanksgiving weekend is kind of a unique weekend. And I hope that our fans, as far as when we have a home game here in the future, as far as playing in Thanksgiving, that they all rally around that. And I've seen how that all works. It's been a fantastic part of things that you've been involved with when you have a Thanksgiving weekend. So, again, we're looking forward to those times, but right now we're focused on recruiting and developing our players.
Well, Coach, we all knew this was going to be an interesting season because of the fact that there was no postseason attached to the end of it. You finished with a winning record at 6-5. When you look back and reflect back on this season and what the team did, what are your thoughts, and how do you gauge success in this season?
Well, I think you gauge success as far as I think our guys played very, very hard in every football game. I thought we had some good things occur. Obviously, we had some times where we did not play with consistency. So I think that was probably the disappointing thing is probably the consistency. We were very inconsistent when we played. We played some things that we didn't play as well in the early part of the game. Last part of the game, our second half, we played very, very well at times. So the inconsistency. But it's a transition period. Obviously, a very, very tough challenge when you're not playing for titles and all those kind of things. As a coach, those are the things that are tougher on you. But again, I thought overall our players and our coaching staff did a pretty good job that we had our fans see where we were competitive, we were competing, and our guys did play hard.
A tough way to end the season with that Charleston Southern loss, but you had a 3-game winning streak before that. It kind of feels like the way that the season went, it was kind of a microcosm of like you were saying, with the consistency and the lack thereof. I mean, you start off 3-0, then 4-game losing skid, and I guess when you try to put all those things together, how do you evaluate where you need to go forward from this point on?
Well, I think the biggest thing that comes up is really depth. I think that's the first thing that comes to my mind is we need to get more depth, probably at every position. And I think that's part of the transition part of things in the nature when you go into the FBS level. And from this last season, the first year that I've been here, where I think we had a tremendous low depth as far as the defensive line. We've always had a little bit more 6 to 7, 8 people that we felt very, very comfortable with and good with that we could play in a football game. And this is the first year here as far as this last football season here in 2017 where we're very uncomfortable playing more than 4 to 5 guys. And so when you have a defensive line and you're playing 70 to 80 snaps, that's very difficult. And that accumulates over a period of time when the season, particularly at the end, when they've played an average of 70 snaps a game, and you look up there and after 11 games they played 700 snaps, it takes a toll. So I think that's the one area there big time is really depth at the D-line. I think depth there at receivers, depth there as far as in our linebacker positions, and really even the secondary there too. But offensive line, I would say offensive line and D-line will be the two positions that we need to gain more depth as we make this transition.
And year 2 of the transition coming up here, and you're going into the early signing period now here in college football in December, and then you got the other one coming up in February. How do you feel about the incoming talent that is going to start to fill up some of these scholarships?
Well, that's all in progress right now. You got a lot of things that are going on. I think it's been great as far as us been announced officially that we're going to FBS. There's no question that we've had a lot more people open-mindedness. They've looked at us in a more serious manner. Again, the players want to play at the highest level and playing at the FBS level. They take that a little bit more seriously once you get that brand name there that's out there now with Liberty University. So, again, we got some good players, good talent. The coaches across the country, high school coaches are definitely aware of Liberty University now. And we have some talented guys that we continue to evaluate, continue to talk to. And I think before it's all done, it's even more exciting that we don't have to wait all the way to February. We can get some things done in December. So I think that's great for Liberty. I think it's great for NCAA football that we have this signing date here early for football players that can do that. So I'm excited about that. I see a lot of good things that are happening and looking forward to it.
85 scholarships next year, then?
We're right. We're going to shoot for that. That's our goal. We don't have to be at 85 here this year. It's really the following year that we have to be at 85 as far as with the NCAA. But I'm grateful for Liberty University allowing us to have the finance. They've agreed to, if we can get to that, we are able to do that. We're going to not necessarily just get to 85 just to get it. We're going to make sure we get quality guys. So we're going to shoot for that. If we don't reach that number, we're still in great shape there as far as that goes. We won't get quality people versus just totally getting quantity people. Do we need both? But we're going to make sure we do it in a selective and productive way.
I know you've had the exit interviews with the players already after this year, and then was meeting with your coaching staff and having a chance to talk to them. Robert Wimberly, your defensive coordinator, Joe Daly, your offensive coordinator. As you're looking to try to make improvements on both sides of the ball, what were those conversations like with those two gentlemen specifically?
Well, I think from the offensive perspective, I thought we made progress from last year to this year. Points scored were up. We did a little bit better as far as on some yards per play and all those type of details. I think the one thing that was really, really outstanding was the receiving corps. That was an upgrade. We definitely improved in that area. I thought that the offensive line, the consistency, I thought we improved in that area. Coach Stam, I think, did a very, very good job. So really, the thing we need to do on the offensive side of it is continue to get depth, continue to have more explosive plays from the running game per se. So we're going to look at that as we go into the recruiting process. On the defensive side of the ball there, I think we need to make some big-time improvement in that area. I thought we maybe wasn't quite as good as we have been in the past, so we do need to make some improvement overall in the defensive perspective. Again, from the D-line, we had some talented people. We need to get depth there. Linebacker, I thought they really did some good things. In the secondary, maybe was not quite as good as we had been in the past. So we were able to gain that 10th coach in January. So I think once that occurs, there might be some adjustments that may be made here as a staff as we look at things here as we move forward when that occurs. I think it's January the 9th that officially every FBS school can get that 10th coach.
Yeah, and I guess with the defense specifically, you mentioned the improvements there that need to be. You guys were +3 in turnovers, but in the yardage department, I mean, do those things kind of cancel out if you're giving up a lot of yards but you're getting turnovers?
Well, I think yardage, you take that with a grain of salt. But I also think when the red zone, what's the percentage there? You maybe can say, well, you bend and don't break, but then it also comes to a point when you get in the red zone area that they score quite a bit in those areas. So I think there were some things there we got to improve on in the red zone area that needs to clean that up. Third down conversions, we were very good in that area there, just about 70%. So some numbers were good. But the big ones that you say is turnovers is a good thing, but you get in the red zone, how many touchdowns did they score and percentage-wise and all those kind of things of that nature. And so we just got to clean it up. And the biggest thing is probably alarm is really the big plays, the explosive plays. That's the one area that you really want to say if one that needs to really improve. We need to minimize the explosive plays on the defensive side.
Coach, appreciate the time and wish you happy holidays coming up here. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Sounds good. Thank you, and to God be the glory.
That's the head coach of the Flames, Turner Gill. My name is Nick Pierce for the Liberty Flame Sports Network.